Hi there, this is Sudhakar from Insight. In this tutorial video, me and my colleague Mr. Sandeep Patton will demonstrate how we can leverage SAP process automation and AI business solutions to accelerate innovation in the business processes. We'll do that while using SAP business technology platform called as SAP BTP. So in the today's world, as we know, for digital transformation generally for intelligent enterprise, artificial intelligence and automation has evolved from an emerging technology to taking the must-have stage in enterprise of all the sizes in past few years. It has been a consistent trend across the industry and line of business, and adoption will continue to escalate. Doesn't matter whether it's lead to cash, recruit to retire, source to pay, or any other business processes like design to operate. Today, AI and automations are the heart of SAP strategy as well to help customer become intelligent, sustainable enterprises. This capability enabled automated, accelerated, and sustainable business process for building tomorrow's intelligent enterprise. In this video, we will ensure that you understand what it takes to adopt, improve, and innovate your business processes with automation using SAP process automation and AI services with a small use case built around data attribute recommendation and process automation. So let's quickly understand what SAP process automation is. So SAP process automation combine capability from SAP workflow management and SAP intelligent robotic process automation with powerful and intuitive no-code development experience. It provides the capabilities like creation of the interactive forms. We can digitize the process and configure end-to-end process with a graphical interface. We can build and run automation bots for the systems like SAP S/4HANA or ECC or any non-SAP system as well. We can manage decisions, we can add business logic, we can achieve end-to-end process visibility with the help of the services. On the other hand, data attribute recommendation, which is at the heart of SAP AI business service, provide options to classify the information such as product, variant, stores, incident, and users details into different classes and predict the missing attribute in the data. We can use data attribute recommendation, for example, classifying incoming product information, predicting the price of the commodity based on the description or input data. We can also use the same for improved segmentation of the customer. Data attribute recommendation provide this flexibility with the help of managing training data, manage machine learning model, classify data records, and predict data records. So let's look at one of the use case which we have built on the data attribute recommendations to help the service industry to categorize the ticket information based on the incident details available in the form of text. So without further ado, let me quickly show you the business use case here. So as you can see in this spreadsheet, we have a column A, B, and C, which is an input column, and then we have an output column. So what does incident will do here is we have incident description, priority, and location. So using this three information as a text, our model will predict the assignment group. So as we know in the current service industries where tickets are coming across the globe and the volume of data which we see is really huge, and it's very cumbersome for L1 team to handle and assign that we take it turn around with the right assignment group. So in this model which we have built, we can leverage that to predict the right assignment group, which in the coming time, Sandeep will show how. So without taking further time, let me quickly log into SAP BTP platform. So this is the login credential. So in our tutorial blog post, we have mentioned step by step how we can create a free account in SAP BTP and how we can activate the services, required services to be used. So let me quickly add my password. SAP BTP combines all the capabilities of platform, service, analytics, and AI and RPA capabilities together under one umbrella, where we can develop the applications and different details. Yeah, sorry for that delay due to that error. So here we can see that we have logged into SAP BTP cockpit, and on my left side you can see the sub account which we have created for data attribute recommendation. So to have the service activated, we have to go to the option called booster, where we can search the service, and with a few click we can spin up this service, and we can use the same. Okay, so we can click on the start, and then we can leverage this service. So this detailed information we have provided in our tutorial blog spot. You can go through that. So now for 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 executing that model, or for building that model, we need a service key which we will get from our sub account. So we have to click here on the sub account, and it will open the details. You can see that subdomain, tenant name, created by, created on, and who is the provider and what type of environment it is. Then once we click on the option called Cloud Foundry environment, you will see that the instance is available here. So we have to click on the instance. The moment we'll click on the instance, it will open up the instance detail, okay, like name, plan, and then we have an option called credential. So this credential is very important and being used in the model, which Sandeep is going to show us in a few minutes. So here we can see that we have option form and JSON. So we can download this JSON. This key has a JSON file, and we can leverage that further in our model. So without taking further time, I would like to hand it over to my colleague Sandeep Patton, who will show us the rest of the process. Yes, Sandeep, over to you.
Sure. Okay. Hello all. So with the data attribute implementation, we will be using the Python SDK in order to communicate with the PDP platform, and we are gonna run this code on the Jupyter notebook. So first we are gonna do with the SDK installation. the installation is going to happen with this key where we do a pip install data attribute recommendation SDK. Once the data attribution recommendation SDK has been installed, we need to load the service key that we have downloaded from the PDP platform. So we need to upload it onto the same location where we are going to run this data attribute Python script from. So I have provided the detailed description over here of where the key has to be present. Uh, then once the key has been loaded onto the location, the file location, you can see it over here that I have the file over here. I have also installed the key as well as the data set. So the first step that we're going to do is we are going to run the logs in order to log any actions that have been performed with the SDK. The next thing we are going to perform is to import the JSON key that we have downloaded, right? And once the JSON key has been present, we are just validating whether the key is present or not. And once the JSON has been present, the JSON key has been injected, we are going to go with the data set. We're going to first upload the data set that we want to use for developing the model on the same file location where the data attribute equation py file or the Python file is present, right? And then we are going to import the CSV file using pandas as PD. And we are reading the headers. So we are just seeing the description over here, like the short description, the priority, the location, and the assignment group is our expected output. And short description, priority, and location are our inputs, and we're gonna use data attribute recommendation to provide an output of the assignment. Once the data has been imported, we are gonna create a schema. The schema is nothing but when we are going to pass this, when we are going to pass the data set to the model will be reading through the data set, and the model will have to identify the features that we are providing and the labels that we are going to or the output that we are expecting. So we have a short description is a text format. Priority is a category, right? And the location is a category, and the assignment group, which we want as an output, is also a category. So once we develop this, we're going to use the data manager client to import the schema. Once the schema has been imported, we will get the schema ID. We will be utilizing the schema ID to upload our data. So we are going to upload our data using create data set in the data manager, and and we will be passing the ID that we have received over here, the schema ID. So based on the schema ID, the schema has been uploaded, and you see that the schema has been uploaded, but there is no data. So in order to upload the data, we would be converting our data into a zip file. Uh, so, uh, so once the data set ID has been generated over here, we are going to compress the data into a GZ file for faster uploading. So this is used for because the file size can be large, so we can compress this so that when we are uploading our CSV file or the data set to the BTP platform, it becomes easier and doesn't take time. So we're going to do it over here. So once the file has been uploaded, the status is gonna change to validating. The status over here is gonna remain validating till the schema that we have passed and the data that we have passed has been validated. And once that validation has been completed, we will either get the status that either failed or succeeded. So I'll just run this. So we are still, so we can see that the status over here is has succeeded over here, and it's still running in the backend. So as this is happening, as the validation is going on, let's go with the training of the model. So BTP provides three different models. So one is a hierarchical template, the other one is a generic template, and the other one is auto. Okay, and all three can be used for our requirement, whereas in hierarchical template is used to recommend for the prediction of multiple classes to form a hierarchy, right? And for generic, it using generic neural network for multi-label and multi-class classification. Okay, and auto ML is used for using a machine level model to determine single label itself. And since in our output we would be requiring only a single label, we would be going with the auto ML template. And for training our model, we would have to pass in the model ID, and this is the model ID that we will be passing. Uh, Okay, and for doing our model, we will be using the class model manager class, a model manager client, and in the client we will be passing in the model template ID as you are seeing over here, and the model name. You can name any of the model. The name should can be similar to the model template, or you can rename it to anything that you want. And once the model has been generated, we can run this. We would get the job ID, and since this is running, uh, we'll just wait till the data validation is been completed. Data set validation is completed. You can pause it over here without much. Yeah. As you see, the data set has been data set validation is complete, and the status is showing as succeeded. Once it has been succeeded, we have started training the model. In order to train the model, we have selected what model we are using, and we have passed in the resource ID for it. Okay, and as you can see, it will give us the submitted job ID, and we will be using this job ID to train our model. And this is going to take around 5 to 10 minutes for the model to complete training using our data set that we have provided. And once the training has been completed, we can inspect the model to look at the further details such as the accuracy, F1 score, precision, and other details. So Sudhakar, you can. So once the model has been built, we can inspect the model. And when we inspect the model, we can see the accuracy as 91%, the F1 score as 91%, and the precision is 91%. Uh, Once the model has been inspected, we will have to deploy the model. Okay, and we would be deploying the model using the model name. Uh, and once we deploy the model, we'll get the deployment ID. I have already deployed this model, uh, so we would be getting an error. Uh, but how do I show this, Sudhakar? So once the model has been deployed, we'll be inspecting the model, and I have passed in the model name as SC Auto ML model. So I'm passing in the same name over here, and I will be getting the validation results where the accuracy I'm getting as 91%, which is a very good accuracy. the more the data you have, the more you train the model, the accuracy of the application would be increasing. Once the model has been inspected and you're satisfied with the accuracy, we have to deploy the model. We will be deploying the model using the model name. I have already deployed this model, so I would be getting an error. But once you run this script, you will be getting a status. Once you run the script to deploy this model, you will be getting a status either succeeded or failed. If it is failed, it means that the model is already been deployed, and but if it is success, then the model has been deployed. Once the model has been deployed, we would be testing our model using the below script, where we would be trying to classify this feature, where I'm passing in a short description, the priority and the location, right, as you're seeing over here, and I'm trying to see what would be the expected classification. And once when I run this, I would be getting the expected